Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to our Salt Lake Āliamanu Foster Village Airport Neighborhood Board 18. The time is 6:30 p.m. We're going to start our meeting. Before we start our meeting, I want to call up Arame Domingo. She'll be singing the national anthem at this time. Please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please remain standing. I'm going to put her on the spot. How about the Hawaiian national anthem? How's that?
Is it because I met?
All right, she's game.
Okay. Hawaii pono'i nana I komo'i kalani ali'i ke ali'i makualani e kameha meha e na kaua e pale me kai e makualani e kameha meha e na kaua e pale me kai e.
Before we get seated, we have a special thing going. I want to call up the following people: Noah Ramos, Nala Ramos, Lucas Matsumoto, Kayla Lynch, Kaimano Kaluna, Caleb Morishigi, Kaliko Meyer, Kealana Meyer, and Colette McQuarrie. You go right up by the microphone up there. They're going to cite the Pledge of Allegiance. Whenever you're ready. Thank you so much. And everybody can blame me. We do have a flag, but I forgot to bring it out. Sorry. Let's get seated. Before we start our meeting, I ask all of you to join me in observing a moment of silence as we remember and honor those victims who lost their lives on September 11, 2001, including the brave first responders who ran into the danger that day in New York City. Okay, let's start our meeting calling the Honolulu Fire Department. Thank you for joining us, Joseph.
Yes, we have quorum.
Okay, good evening. My name is Dean Shimuka. I'm from Honolulu Fire Station. So this is the confirmed number of incidents in the neighborhood board's geographic area for the previous month. For more details, incidents, and related map information, please visit Fire Response Search Tool on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the News and Informations tab. Should you have any questions, please feel free to email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. So the incidents for August 2025 fires, there were 2 structure fires, 1 wildland/brush, 1 nuisance fire, which includes rubbish fires outside of structure or vehicle, 0 cooking fires, no activated alarms. Emergencies, there were 69 medicals, 1 motor vehicle with pedestrian, 1 motor vehicle crash/collision, 0 mountain rescues, 0 ocean rescues, and 0 hazmat incidents. The fire tip for the month is for lithium batteries in your home. This year, the National Fire Protection Association Fire Prevention Week campaign works to educate everyone using these batteries safely. Lithium batteries store a lot of energy in a small place. These batteries can overheat, start fire, or explode if overcharged or damaged. By learning how to buy, charge, and recycle these batteries safely, you can help prevent fires in your home. Buying only listed products, buying products that use lithium batteries look for safety certification marks as UL, ETL, or CSA. This means it meets important safety standards. Charge devices, always use cords that come with the product. Follow the instructions from the manufacturer. Buy new chargers from those manufacturers or ones that are manufacturer approved. Charge your devices on hard surfaces and do not overcharge your devices. Unplug it or remove the battery when it is fully charged. Recycle batteries responsibly. Do not throw lithium-ion batteries in the trash or regular recycling bins because they could start fires. Recycle your devices or batteries at a safe battery recycling location. Please visit call2recycle.org to find a recycling spot near you. HFD is hosting a Fire Prevention Family Day on October 4th, 2025 at the Honolulu Zoo from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So please bring your families to participate in activities and meet our fire and life safety partners. And that is it from us. Thank you.
Board, any questions for the fire department? Audience, any questions for the fire department? Thank you.
Thank you.
Honolulu Police Department?
Hi, good evening, Āliamanu Neighborhood Board. Lieutenant Glenn Iwasaki from District 3 Pro City. And we cover beat 384, part of Foster Village. So I'll start with the reported incidents. This is in comparison from July 2025 to August 2025. Motor vehicle thefts, we had 0 and remained at 0. Burglaries was 0 in July, and we had 1 in August, but that burglary ended up being a attempted theft of a bicycle. So it wasn't really a burglary. Theft, we had 1 in July and 1 in August. That theft was more like a scam fraud theft incident. And car break-ins, July we had 0 and remains at 0. So our safety tip of the month, calls for service in this area for beat 384. July we had 261, August was 311. So our safety tip of the month is arrive alive, don't text and drive. And in relation to that, I know Lieutenant Everett Sakai attended the last meeting, and there was a concern about speeding on Kahua Pa'ani Street, which is a 35-mile-per-hour zone where a young female lost her life. So as of September 1st, over 40 speeding citations were issued with vehicles exceeding the speed limit by at least 15 miles per hour. So they did a good job over there at Kahua Pa'ani Street. And also, the Honolulu Police Department's initiative for this month is Take 30. So I think we had it back then, Captain, back in your days, Take 30. So every patrolman takes 30 minutes out of their 13-hour shift to specifically do traffic enforcement, to educate the public and do enforcement as well. So this is because of the high number of fatalities we have. I think we're at 60 as of today, which is really high. Yeah, I think it's doubled from last year, so yeah. And also, I have Sergeant Steve Miller here. He takes care of Sector 3, which encompasses Beat 384, Foster Village. His platoon, I just wanted to say, has 3 females, so it's 1 corporal, 2 blue and white drivers, and they have 1 male senior motorman who drives his own vehicle. But the 4 of them, they do an excellent job out here under his supervision. So, I mean, the numbers show it, like 0 motor vehicle thefts, 0 car break-ins. So yeah, they do a really good job. They patrol a lot. They're always active. Last night, someone threw the storm drain cover right through McDonald's window. If you go to Salt Lake McDonald's, you see a big hole. I think they boarded it up. But yeah, so good thing no one was eating in that area at the time, because the glass, that cover flew all the way to the end of that wall. But 1 officer responded to McDonald's. The rest, they canvassed the area, found a suspect within 10 minutes. ID was made. He was arrested. He got charged this morning. So, yeah. Captain Yomes, he was the same way. He'd always find the suspects, right? Yeah. The District 5 days. But yeah, that's all I have from District 3. If there's any questions.
Board, any questions? Audience, any questions for Pro City Station? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. You said the sewer cover was thrown at the. Isn't that like super heavy, or it's like Superman threw it or something?
Yeah, it's the one that's labeled gas. So it's a little bit smaller, but yeah, you gotta really wedge it out from the sidewalk, and then yeah. He threw it at 1 glass. He broke that glass. That one had tint, so it didn't shatter, and then he threw it right through the other huge glass where everybody sits and eats. So luckily, the workers, there was nobody inside at the time. The workers, they're behind that barrier. So,
yeah. Thank you. Thank you for all your service and catching them. You guys are the heroes there.
Okay.
Lieutenant, that 30-minute traffic enforcement, is that task-specific? The reason I ask is I know Eva did a traffic enforcement with the e-bikes, the mopeds. Is District 5 and District 3, are you guys going to do something similar to that with that programs? Because especially Salt Lake and Āliamanu, a lot of mopeds and e-bikes racing around and not following the law. So.
Yeah, so the e-bikes, pedestrians, e-bikes, we do offer the officers on their off days to work a little bit extra hours to enforce that. So that's been continuing. And then the speeding, that's part of the Take 30. So we have all these areas. Chairman Woods from IAEA also pointed out some areas too. So we gather all those areas, and that's what I pretty much give to the in lineup and stuff, and they pick those areas to do enforcement. So I noticed they've been doing a lot of education right now because they just started. So a lot of TSACs, we call it, right? And then those will turn into citations.
Yeah, the biggest thing is these kids are under 15, a lot of them you look at, and they're packing, and we don't want any fatalities in our area. So if you can pass the word along, maybe you guys can issue a few citations, similar to what was that District 8 did? Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks, Captain.
Kalihi Police?
Hey, good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Falmin Corpus, Sergeant from Corpus. This is Sergeant Hatiko. We're assigned to Kalihi, District 5. So let me start off with the, we cover beat 550 and 551 in Kalihi. So for the month of August, aggravated assault, we 0 reported. For July and August, it's 0. For auto theft, it's actually down in August. We had 3 compared to 5 in July. For burglary, we had 0 in August compared to 3 in July. And for robbery, also 0. July and August is zeros. Any sex assault cases, we had 0 for July and August. And simple assault, we had 4 in August, slightly higher compared to July. We had 2. And then for theft, we had 5 in August, and then 1 in July. But this is covers shoplifting, theft of bikes. What else? Theft of bicycles. And then for unauthorized entry into a motor vehicle, we had 1 in August and 1 in July. And then for the beat 550 and 551, our officers responded to 530 total service call. But it's about the same for July, or 518 back in July. And our safety tip for the month, you guys probably are all familiar with the 3-second rule, so I just want to, remind everyone again that always maintain a safe following distance, at least 3 seconds behind the vehicle in front of you. This extra space gives you more time to react to sudden stops or unexpected hazards, especially in bad weather or heavy traffic. That's all I got.
Board, any questions for Kalihi Police Station? Madam Secretary?
Thank you very much for being here. First off, it would be really, really helpful if both 5 and 3 would support us by giving us a written of your stats. Yeah. You just email it to, Zoidel or one of us, yeah. Then
will do.
in that way, we can have it at hand. Because for me, trying to write all the stats down, it's a little difficult.
Okay.
Yeah. But it'll be
do.
really great. Then that way,
Yes.
if anyone asks us any questions, we will have the written form.
Okay.
Thank you.
Will do. Thank you.
Audience, any questions for the Kalihi Police Station? Thank you, gentlemen, appreciate it. Madam Secretary, at this time, can you do a roll call so we can establish quorum?
Thank you, Chair. May I call out James Kavika Gower, Patty Igawa, Joseph Omura, David Yomes, and myself, Chandra Kanemaru. We have a quorum of 5, which
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I have some special guests this evening. Well, we have some special guests this evening. Salt Lake Elementary School retired principal, Dwayne Abe. We also have current principal, Randall Gallion. If I mess up the name, just let me know. We also have Komare Moff of Moanalo Middle School. Did I pronounce that correctly? Tamari. I just got this a little while ago. Thank you for coming. We have Heather Murashigi, Vice Principal at Moanalo Middle. Thank you for all of you to come out this evening. I'm going to move on our agenda to our Neighborhood Board 18 Community Warrior of the Month Award. The Warrior of the Month Award was established on August 8th, 2024. An award certificate is presented at our monthly scheduled meetings to a persons, or group that provides outstanding service for the good of our community. This award is presented to honor these people, past and present, who have greatly contributed unselfishly to help make Āliamanu, Salt Lake, Foster Village, and the airport area the best community district to live, work, and play. It is our belief that it is time and long overdue for our community to recognize these movers and shakers, and what better place to recognize these remarkable people right here at this Neighborhood Board 18 meeting, often referred to as the People's Meeting. With that said, the board takes great pleasure in congratulating retired Salt Lake Elementary School Principal Dwayne Abe, as he is being named the Neighborhood Board 18 Warrior of the Month for September 2025. Mr. Abe has dedicated his life to our educational system, recently retiring after 43 years of public service with the Department of Education for the state of Hawaii. He retired as the principal of Salt Lake Elementary School after a remarkable 27 years being at this school. Principal Abe is a legend at the school and within our community. He will be remembered in his legacy as the champion for our keiki. On behalf of this board and our community, we say to you, much mahalo, Principal Abe, for taking care of our children for all of these years, and the warmth you provided for these kids will never be forgotten. At this time, I would like to call Aaron Meyer. And with that said, Mr. Meyer works at Salt Lake Elementary School. Mr. Meyer is the head of the Department of Education and was Principal Abe's boss. No,
Who lied about that,
I'm just
Cap?
kidding, I'm just kidding. The floor is yours, Aaron.
All right, aloha mai kako. I will be reading a message that we have regarding Mr. Abe. Celebrating a legacy, Principal Dwayne Abe retires after 43 years of dedicated service. After a remarkable 43-year career in education, including 27 years at Salt Lake Elementary School, Principal Dwayne F. Abe retired on July 1st, 2025. Principal Abe's unwavering commitment to the students of Hawaii has left an indelible mark on the educational landscape, particularly within the Moanalo complex. A graduate of Waipahu High School, Principal Abe earned both his Bachelor of Education in Elementary Education and his Master of Education from the University of Hawaii. His journey in education began with teaching roles at Barbers Point Elementary, Nanakuli Elementary, and Mililani-Uka. He then transitioned into administration, serving as a cohort intern at Mililani-Mauka Elementary School, and later as vice principal at Mililani-Uka for 3 years. Principal Abe's impactful leadership at Salt Lake Elementary School began in 1998 as vice principal, and he assumed the role of principal in January 2002. Since September 2002, he has also served as the Moanalo Complex chairperson. In his retirement letter to parents and students, Principal Abe described the decision to leave Salt Lake Elementary as, quote unquote, the hardest decision of my life, highlighting his deep affection for the school, which he had considered home for 27 years. He expressed how he will miss our students the most. They have been the joy of my life and the reason I worked so hard. Throughout his career, Principal Abe has been a tireless advocate for students, striving to provide for them the best opportunities to succeed. His motto, do whatever it takes for students, encapsulates his dedication. He is recognized for fostering academic excellence and creating effective educational systems to meet the diverse needs of students. An example of his innovative approach is the English Language Learner program at Salt Lake Elementary, which saw a significant decrease in the ELL student population from 25% to 14% due to his efforts increasing staffing and support. Principal Abe's outstanding contributions have been recognized both locally and nationally. He was the Masayuki Tokioka Award nominee in both 2007 and 2014, award that acknowledges exemplary public school principals. In 2014, he was named the Central District Distinguished Principal and subsequently received the prestigious National Distinguished Principal Award, in honor for which he was celebrated in Washington, D.C. In 2020, he was also an honoree at the 16th Annual Kinaole Awards Banquet, recognized as a career educator and enduring supporter of Mo'olu High School and the broader Mo'olu-Salt Lake community. As Principal Abe embarks on his retirement, he leaves Salt Lake School, quote unquote, better than he found it, full of Dolphin pride. He states, I'll always be a Dolphin, and I'll be here in spirit each and every day. I will truly miss this special place. His legacy of leadership, dedication, and unwavering commitment to student success will undoubtedly continue to inspire the Salt Lake Elementary School community and beyond. Congratulations, Mr. Abe. Would you like a copy of this? Okay.
The next person who I wish to invite up to the microphone was in the first graduating class at Salt Lake Elementary School. And Principal Abe was her teacher from first grade. And he says she was his favorite student. Nah, I'm just messing with all of you. Anyway, this person is currently the Vice Speaker of the Hawaii State Legislature, House of Representatives, representing District 31, which includes Salt Lake. Let's bring up Representative Linda Ichiyama.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Yomes, for this opportunity to express, on behalf of the entire community, a heartfelt mahalo to Principal Abe. I've so enjoyed working with you in this capacity as a state representative, and together, along with Senator Wakai and our other area legislators, we've done a lot to help the school under your leadership. I think it's a testament to your prioritizing the students and the projects that you chose for the school, things like electrical upgrades so they could install air conditioning, being able to transform the classrooms into learning environments that are conducive for students to be able to focus on their learning and be able to work with each other as well. And as a former Salt Lake Dolphin, I know how much you meant to the students. And I'll just share, even to my brother, who sometimes you had to call my mom because he got in trouble. But he loves you to this day because he knows how much you cared. And that's the feeling that you left with all of your students, including my own two children who were very sad they couldn't be here tonight to give you a big hug. So on behalf of the community, thank you so much, Mr. Abe. Thank you.
Randall Galleon, who is the current principal at Salt Lake Elementary School.
Aloha board, aloha everybody who's here tonight. For us, this was a very special occasion to not miss. So right when I entered this door here, Chair Yomes is like, hey, you want to say something? And sure, didn't quite know what to say, but I came up with this. Real quick background. So I've been at Salt Lake for the last 8 years. I got to work with Mr. Abe directly, very closely. He means a lot to me, definitely more than just a work relationship. He kind of knows what he means to me, and I'll kind of leave it at that. But I was thinking of the word warrior and what that really means. And I know in Hawaiian, when you think of that word warrior, what is the word that comes to mind? Mr. Meyer? Koa, right? And koa literally would translate to a warrior. And when you think warrior, you think the strong, brute guy who's going to go to battle. And let me tell you, that is Mr. Abe. He is the guy who will step up to the plate, he'll get to the front line, and he's going to stand for students, staff, even myself. But the kauna, the duality of that word koa, is koa. And koa in the ocean, does anybody know? Coral. And in that ocean, the coral, or koa, is protection. For who? The fish, right? All of the fish and animals that live within the sea that need that protection, that's the koa. And so I wanted to share that when I think of warrior, I think of the person who's going to stand and fight, but also the person who's going to give us that safe space, keep us protected. Mr. Abe, much mahalo to you. You mean a lot to me and all of Salt Lake. Thank you for everything you've done. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo.
This time, I would like to thank Laurie Sumajit, the Salt Lake Elementary School President of Operations, for arranging all of this for Principal Abe. Thank you, Laurie. And I asked Laurie how to pronounce everybody's name, but I forgot to ask her how to pronounce her last name. Did I get it correct? Okay. I'd like to thank all the Dolphins from Salt Lake Elementary School, past and present, students and staff, who came out this evening to help celebrate Principal Abe's accomplishments and retirement. Lastly, Mr. Abe, on behalf of our community and this board, thank you. Lastly, let's have Mr. Abe come up towards the corner here along with everyone else so we can take some photos. And I guess everybody knows the song, Happy Birthday to You. We're going to sing Happy Retirement to You. So anyway, let's all gather in the corner over there. We got the expert singer. She's going to lead everybody. If I do it, everybody's going to leave right away. Oh, do that happy birthday thing, but we're happy retirement. Happy retirement. Okay. And after that, do you know this song? All the monkeys in the zoo? No, I don't. I dropped my grandson off there.
Oh, there's a fly. What was that? There was a fly. Sorry, there was a fly. Yeah, but it's gone now. It's super the fly.
If you can move a little bit so the camera can catch all of this, thank you. Appreciate that.
Not blocking.
Mr. Abe can wave at the camera.
Okay. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy retirement to you. Happy retirement to you. Happy retirement, Mr. Abe. Happy retirement to you. Yay!
How about, like, all the monkeys in the zoo have all the dolphins in the sea? Give the best regards to you. Anyway, congratulations, Mr. Abe. Enjoy your retirement. Awesome. Everybody get together, quick picture with Mr. Abe. squeeze out. Like the chorus kind, quiet kind.
Okay, everybody.
Mr. Abe, you want to say a few words?
My boss said not to shed any tears, so my boss is Mr. Meyer. Apparently, he got promoted. And all these, it's only been 2 months since I left, Salt Lake, and all these new titles now, executive this, and, I didn't know Mr. Meyer was my boss. Anyway, I'd like to thank the Āliamanu Foster Village Salt Lake Board, Neighborhood Board for giving me such a great honor and recognizing my retirement. I told the people that's been asking, oh, how are you doing with your retirement? When you're a principal, everything moves at like 400 miles an hour. But when you retire, everything is down to like maybe 5 miles an hour. So the transition is a little bit, how should I say, I need to kind of like reset myself and get my mindset to be in the retirement mode. But I really miss the staff, but especially I miss the students. So that was a nice surprise to see them tonight. And like everybody said, that was my main focus. That was my drive. That was my passion, was to take care of our students.
Thank you for coming out. Before we continue with our meeting, Mr. Abe said all the students here tonight and the staff, you guys need to go. There's school tomorrow. Anyway, there's a cake that we had for Mr. Abe. You guys welcome to take it back to the school, or you guys can eat while we go to we finish our meeting. Up to you. Thank you all for coming. Okay, moving on our agenda, we have a few vacancies available for this neighborhood board. We had one retired and one decided not to run again. Anyway, is there any nominations from the floor that might be interested in being on the neighborhood board? We meet once a month for 10 months out of the year, 2 months break, and it's pretty simple. A good opportunity to be on the board and voice your concerns for the community you live in. Any takers? Okay. Well, we had a couple promising people that they said they're going to be at our next meeting, so we'll see. Anyway, moving on our agenda. We're going to have annual meeting procedures since we do have a quorum. We're going to election of officers. At this time, the board, we have any nominations? Board members, can you come back to your seat, please? You can eat cake later on. Joseph. Joseph, your hearing aid. Okay, board members, we had time to vote for election of officers for chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. Is there any nomination from the floor? Well, while you was eating cake, nobody wanted to come on the board at this time. Yeah, so there's two people that was interested, but they couldn't make it tonight, so they'll be at our next meeting. So we do have a quorum. So Mr. Omura, you want to nominate somebody? Let's start with the chair.
I second.
Any other nominations for the chair? I nominate Joe Omura. Any objections for myself being the chair for the next year? Okay, let's move on to vice chair. Any nominations for vice chair?
I nominate Mr. Amura.
Okay, we got two nominations for vice chair, Mr. Omura and Mr. Gower. Let's take a vote for Mr. Omura. All in favor of Mr. Are you declining, Mr. Omura? Okay, Mr. Gower is yours. Okay, moving on to the secretary position. I nominate Chandra Kanemaru. Any other nominations? Hearing none. Madam Kanemaru, you are our secretary again for this year. Going on to treasurer. Any nominations for treasurer?
I'd like to nominate Joe Omura.
Anybody else for treasurer? Okay, Joseph, you are the treasurer. Congratulations, people, for the next term. Okay, moving on our agenda. Community events, Madam Secretary, can you cover the Salt Lake Waterway update?
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. I'd like to just report that we had a most successful collaborative meeting with Honolulu Country Club. We've run into some past issues as I'm smiling at some of the people who know about it. Well, we had met with them back in 2022 when the new owners had taken over. However, we ran into some roadblocks. And so we all got together in a collaborative community meeting. We brought together our legislative staff, our city staff, and Department of Facility Maintenance. And, we brought together almost 20 people that were key players in the Operation Clean Sweep, as well as our whole, what we call the Salt Lake Waterway cleanup. And so we're looking to do something which is a new restart, and we're going to be forming a new committee to work together. So this is really a restart for collaboration between the community as well as HCC and the government agencies. November, we're still looking at doing our Operation Clean Sweep, a cleanup possibly with Geiki balls, but this will be a decision made by the new committee that we will be organizing. So that's our latest update on the Salt Lake Waterway, but it is a real positive looking forward to the next step of what we can do together. Collaboration is always important, right, everybody? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We're going to jump around a little bit. Currently, we meet the second Thursday of each month at 6:30 p.m. at this particular venue here at the National Guard Building Association. Is there an objection to keep it that way? Board, if you want any changes, let's hear it now. Hearing no changes, stay as it is. Okay, as far as the recess schedule, we are usually scheduled to take a recess in the month of June and the month of December. Is there an objection to keep it at those 2 months for the year? Board, what say you? All good? Okay, We'll be taking recesses in June and December. Moving on to the adoption of the oral testimony rules that we've been having for all these years. It's pretty much the same. I would just leave it alone, but it's up to you, board. What say you? Okay, we'll leave it as is. Moving on. I think that's it. Let's move on to the Moanalo High School Homecoming Parade. They have it on September 26th on a Friday. Representative Ichiyama has some information she was gonna add to it, so I'll let her take it over.
High School Student Activities Coordinator, Mr. Nielsen Ishida, apologizes he couldn't be here tonight. He had to take care of his family. But he wanted me to share with the community that the Moanalo High School Homecoming Parade is this month. It's Friday, September 26th. The parade route is the same, so if you remember, they leave from the fire station, they walk down Āliamanu Street, they turn right on Āliamanu Street, they turn right again on Likini Street and go back towards the roundabout and up towards the high school. The one change this year, though, is that the city required them to have no parking on the right-hand side of the parade route. So on Friday, September 26th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., there will be no parking on the right-hand side of those streets. So Āliamanu, Āliamanu, and Likini Street along the parade route. Thank you, Chair.
Any questions regarding the Moanalo High School Parade, Homecoming Parade? Thank you, Representative Ichiyama. Okay, moving on the agenda, the Salt Lake Boulevard widening project update is Dodge Watson here. Mr. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Board. Thank you, Chair, and community members, and congratulations, Mr. Abe. That was the first I've ever had at a community meeting. I was going to bring cake too, but you guys beat me to it. So it's been a little bit since we've been here. This is concerning the Salt Lake widening. This is between Maluna Street and Lilikoi Street. That's the one next to the shopping center. And it's, as you guys drive past and you guys seen it, it's been off the road, so it hasn't been as impactful recently, but currently we've kind of broken through the next phase of the project. We've been waiting on HECO to move some of the utility poles. When we were scheduling this, we had this scheduled a little while ago. Unfortunately, Lahaina happened, so all our schedule got pushed and changed, as with many other projects. We're back on schedule now. We're moving if you're going Eva, we're moving the telephone poles on the left side of the road, on the Mackay side of the road, more towards the military fence. And we're going to be switching out the utility lines to those new poles. So you're going to see that happening over the course of the next few months. In terms of traffic impact, you're going to see contraflow. So as the utilities come in onto the roadway to remove those poles, we're going to be contraflowing. We're not going to be shutting down like we have previously and rerouted everybody to Likini. We're just going to use flaggers and traffic controls to still allow everybody to come down Salt Lake Boulevard. After that, they're going to start putting in the new water line for the project. So the water line that was in the middle of the road is now going onto the side of the road to allow for that widening to those extra through lanes. That's going to happen probably towards the beginning part of next year. Again, we don't suspect any type of huge road closures for that because we will be off the road. Once the water line is in and they start hooking up the lateral, so those are the ones going from your house to the main line, then we're going to probably have a couple of road closures. We're looking at 2027 for those type of impacts. So that will be a whiles back, and you will see me again here to tell you about those impacts. For now, we have a website. It's saltlakewidening.com, and that we've been updating it roughly about every 4 to 6 weeks. While we're waiting for HECO, it'll be updated a little more consistently now that we have the schedule back on track, and we have these plans in place. We also have a contact page on the site. You can email us, you can call us, and it will probably come to me, but it might come to one of the other guys. And we try to get back to everybody within about 24 hours with your questions or concerns. And that's the update for today.
Board, any questions regarding the Salt Lake Boulevard widening project? Audience, any questions? Or you gotta wait, or you passed it already? Any questions, audience, regarding the Salt Lake? Go ahead.
So it will be summer of 2027. And this is going to be,
Can you repeat the question so we can
I
pick
am
it up
sorry,
online?
what is the approximate completion date of the project? And so for our phase, phase 3A of the project, it is going to be summer of 2027. So we are, just for a little bit more knowledge, so we are in charge of moving the utilities, expanding the roadway, putting in new sidewalks, new retaining walls, and things of that nature. Phase 3B will be the actual placement of the roadway and the street. And that is going to come in after we're done. We suspect that that will go out to bid early 2027, so the contractor will be ready in time for us to transition the project over to them.
Board Member O'Moore?
I noticed tonight when I was driving over here, when I was late coming up the hill, and I made my left turn into the Navy housing, I noticed the barriers are down on the Mackay side, the ocean side of Salt Lake Boulevard. The barriers came down. Is it safe to, see, I'm a jogger, runner, jogger, and there are bicyclists as well. Can we go there, or are we still relegated to the north side, the Malka side?
You are still relegated to the Malka side. The barriers came down again for the, like I said, we're working on the utility poles. So they had to remove them to allow the machines to get in for the utility relocation. But yes, I would urge you to stay on the Mackay side for your safety.
You mean the Malka side?
Oh, I'm sorry, Malka side, yes. I'm sorry, the Malka side, yes.
Any other questions? Madam Secretary?
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Question here is, you know, there's many residences that live along there. How are you going to be handling the parking situation? Or how are you addressing it with those residences?
Yes, so the first time we had to do the closure, we did a mass mailing first, and then we went door to door. We found that we did it during work hours. It wasn't as productive. We had to go later on, so it is something that we've taken into account. We also had the staff go prior to getting up to their lane. So as we started by the shopping center, we would try to go, 4 or 5 houses in advance, say, hey, we're coming down in the next week. This car is okay, but this car isn't. This is where the right-of-way is. Can we please move your car back a little bit and things like that. So we tried to be proactive as we could in that. And we will continue to be proactive as the time comes where we need to take that space again, of course.
Just a quick one, Salt Lake Boulevard at Wanaka Street. Are you folks going to shave more of that hillside, or are you guys going to put a retaining wall there, like further up the road? Do you know offhand?
I don't. Right now, we're on the Mackay side, and we've kind of graded and placed the wall, all that we are planning to do on that side. When phase 3B comes in, if they need more space that side, I think it would be their prerogative at that point. But no, for phase 3A, we are not going to do anything else over there.
Thank you for giving us an update.
Of course.
Are there any other concerns, updates that the audience have or the board has? Okay, let's move on our agenda. Aloha Stadium.
Aloha Chair Yomes, members of the board, and members of the community. Congratulations on your re-elections as officers. I'm Chris Kinimaka, Special Project Manager from the Department of Accounting and General Services. I'm joined by Chris Sariasu, Interim Stadium Manager. Tonight we just have 3 quick updates on issues that we actually introduced last month for the new Aloha Stadium Entertainment District. As we announced, the board did approve our interim stadium manager to execute the agreements, the first 2 key agreements to allow the stadium work to begin. We have finalized those agreements, and now we're just waiting for the actual administrative processes to authorize the actual signing. As soon as those agreements are signed, all of the work for the demolition and the design and construction can flow in full force. We also announced that the schedule for completion of the stadium has moved from August 2028 to March 2029. That's with the collaborative efforts of now our development team coming in with their actual input from their contractors and subcontractors. So it's a much more realistic date that we're comfortable with. And although it is a little disappointing for all of us who are looking forward to, kicking off the 2028 season, we are assured that the March 2029 date does not negatively impact the status of UH's Mountain West standing. So that's the good news. And the last announcement that I have is that the demolition work is anticipated to start mobilization in the next few weeks. So that includes the safety barriers, security, cutting and capping the utilities, ordering materials, and the like. So you're not going to see immediate effects right away, but by the end of the year, you will start to see the big demolition that we all look forward to. And with that, I'll go ahead and let Chris give an update on the stadium activities.
Thank you, Chris, and aloha, everyone. And so, as you drive by a property, you notice that there's a lot of movement in the upper Halava lot. I'm very excited that in October we'll be relocating as the dismantling and demolition work begins at the stadium. We'll be moving the swap meet over to the upper Halava lot. So you see a lot of retail units there that are storage containers that are being converted into retail units. You see awnings coming up and shade coverings. So really excited about the progress with that. The contractor is almost done with the infrastructure work, and so we're putting up our tents and our shade structures and getting that moving through. You see barricades up, the traffic flow and then our signage and everything coming up in the next few weeks. So we'll be ready for October move. So thank you.
Board, any questions for the stadium? Audience, any questions for Aloha Stadium? Thank you for coming out.
Mahalo.
The military, U.S. Space Force here? The Army? One day they'll show up.
Good evening, Board. Ooh. Good evening, Board. Lieutenant Colonel Perry here for the Army. So a couple just announcements. So there is an upcoming job fair. U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii is holding its next hiring fair October 14th at the Oahu Veterans Center in Honolulu, beginning at 8:30 and ending at 2 p.m. This is open to the public. Opportunities include opportunities in business operations like golf, bowling, food service, and many more. Additionally, work is open with Child Youth Services, or CYS. And if you're interested in working with children, they have a position for you there. So you can find out more at www.himwr.com. The U.S. Army Garrison did publish the training advisories for Oahu on September 3rd. Almost all of these are exclusively up at Schofield Barracks in the East Range, so not so much of an impact to this board, but it's really small arms fire, aviation training, and then on Schofield itself, artillery, mortar, and demolitions training throughout the month of September. If you would like to be added to the training advisory list, that is usag.hawaii.comrel, or COMREL, at army.mil. The Gold Star Mothers and Family Day ceremony, so U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii and the Survivor Outreach Services will host the Gold Star Mothers and Families Day observance on September 28th. This special celebration is to honor the enduring sacrifice of those who have lost a loved one in military service. The event will include speeches from military leaders and guests and patriotic displays, and the event will take place at the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific. The last note is a training brief on the Joint Pacific Multinational Readiness Center or rotation that is coming up with 25th Infantry Division. That is November 7th through the 16th. Additional training advisories, noise, increased troop presence, helicopter presence, almost exclusively to Schofield Barracks, the East Range on the north side of the island towards Dillingham Field. And then for any other concerns, they say you can call the new community concern line with U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii at 808-787-1528 or the usag.hawaii.comrel at army.mil. Pending your questions, that's it for the Army tonight.
Yeah, just want to thank the Army, Colonel Sullivan and yourself for Tripler Hospital by moving in the mornings. You guys moved the gate into the Tripler property, which alleviated most of the traffic. And thank the state for extending the ramp on the Moanalo Freeway. Seems like a couple of days that I went out there, it seems like it was moving pretty efficiently.
As a resident of Tripler myself, I am very appreciative of the moving of the gate in the morning because it no longer takes me 40 minutes to get home from Shafter. It takes about 15. So I am in a concurrence with you, Chairman.
Thank you. Board, any questions for the Army? Audience, any questions for the Army? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Calling the Navy.
Good evening, aloha, Cherry-Oms and board members. Chuck Anthony from Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickam. Got a couple, few items just to go over. Number one, you may have seen in the news that the USS Arizona Memorial Preservation has gotten underway. That'll continue on through October. And the National Park Service has actually started taking reservations to go out on the boat to the Arizona Memorial starting in November. Again, I don't want to go into all the detail, but just basically for those who haven't seen it on the news, there were these very heavy, what should have been temporary mooring platforms attached to parts of the infrastructure of the Arizona, the hulk of the Arizona, and they have to be removed because they pose a danger of possibly damaging the hulk of the Arizona. So that work is going on in earnest right now. Next item that I wanted to talk about is the Wings of Aloha. This is on the Hickam side of Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickam. This coming Saturday from 9 to 4. Public is invited. Come on out to see static displays and other aircraft and other type of equipment that the Air Force uses. And then the final item that I wanted to bring up is that I talked a few months ago about Āliamanu 250. Navy started doing, the idea was to do 250 acts of Aloha service before the Navy's birthday, which is coming up in October. Happy to report, last count we had was 264, so surpassed the 250. And even though this is a one-year effort, I just wanted to make sure everybody knows we're going to continue on with our work, making sure that we get as many volunteers to come do volunteer events in the Salt Lake Āliamanu area. And with that, I'll take on any questions that you folks may have.
Board, any questions for the Navy? Audience, any questions for the Navy? Sir, just to give you a heads up, our next meeting in October, we'll be celebrating the Navy, and they'll be named the Warrior of the Month for October, so we can celebrate it at our next meeting on October 9th.
Thank you so much.
And I'll send you an email regarding that.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. And moving on our agenda, Board of Water Supply.
Aloha. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jimmy Llanos, and I'll be representing Board of Water Supply tonight. For our main break report, there was only one main break in the month of August. That occurred on August 8th, and that was a 4-inch diameter pipe at 2632 Keeley House Street. And for our general water announcements, I'm going to be talking about the Imagine a Day Without Water event. I passed out the flyers to our board members, and if anyone else would like flyers, I've placed them on the table in the back as well. Bring the entire ohana for this year's annual Imagine a Day Without Water Day, a free, family-friendly event on Saturday, September 20th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Windward Mall's Center Court. During the event, you'll learn about the One Water concept and why water is essential to every part of life, explore interactive displays from over 20 city, state, and community organizations, and enjoy hands-on activities and prize giveaways, including a 45-gallon rain barrel, and much more. Find out more at www.boardofwatersupply.com/onewaterhawaii. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Board, any questions for the water? Audience, any questions for the water? Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Mayor Blangiardi's office?
Good evening. My name is Brian Gallagher. I am the mayor's rep for the city and county of Honolulu. Jumping into updates from the last meeting for questions that were received. We had a couple about speeding concerns within the Salt Lake Boulevard area, specifically near the Salt Lake Library. So HPD has been conducting investigations on those, on their night shifts, especially because I believe there was a concern about speeding at night. They're going to continue those investigations. So far, they haven't seen any violations, but they're going to continue to monitor. I think that ties into speeding concerns we had with the request for speed bumps on Lakini Street and adjacent, and then also in the area of the Salt Lake Elementary School. DTS has conducted speed studies. And they've been reviewing the area's traffic collision history. Their results show the majority of motorists have been following the speed limit, and there's no collisions related to speeding were identified during their review period, but they're going to continue to monitor and see what they can do, because there's always the few that we always see, and yeah. So we'll let you know what we find as they continue to look at it. There was a question regarding to renew your driver's license. Should every time people renew their driver's license, should they have to take a written test? So our Department of Customer Services, which is the one that issues driver's licenses, they issue the test and everything. Said that would take the legislature and the governor amending the Hawaii revised statutes to change those requirements. Apparently, it goes to the legislature, and that's what dictates how we administer that program. So it might go the opposite. Yeah, no, I don't know. So what they're saying is it's possible, but that could be an uphill battle. So anyway, don't lose hope, Mr. Omura, if that's what you really want. But and then there was a question about modular housing. And if the city conducts a feasibility study on the viability of modular tiny homes, and that, yeah, we do. We are looking at modular housing in various forms of tiny homes, especially one that we see that coming up more and more. And then we even see in building code what is allowed as far as in residential properties and even conversion of some commercial properties into smaller units, because everyone knows the cost of housing can be exorbitant here. And so sometimes that just comes into smaller and smaller spaces. What they attribute it to, or the examples they provide is look at Tokyo, look at New York, and it's actually even per building code, as long as you meet all the requirements. There are requirements for ventilation, natural light. You have to make sure there's fire and safety considerations. As long as you meet all those things, I think we're going to see more of it. And actually, there's consideration for a number of buildings in downtown to be converted from those commercial office spaces into residential and summer hotel. They're looking at that. But the city does have what they call there's a village being built at Pu'uhonua in Ōwaianae. They use modular homes. When we use modular homes on open spaces, there are concerns, there are union concerns, because some of them can just be shipped in and you just prop them up and you connect your utilities. There's always going to be some union concerns, but we've actually had some pretty successful negotiations, especially considering what happened in Lahaina. There are modular units that were shipped in because you need emergency housing. And one day something's going to happen where you need that immediate response and some form of housing. So even the Department of Planning and Permitting, we are actively investigating and looking at ways where we can allow those types of modular conversions or units to be brought in. And a lot of it purely boils down to, can we inspect the utilities? Electricity, water, sewer, ventilation. As long as we can see how things are put in, or at least there's conduits and we can see how it's pulled in, we don't have a problem. An issue we run into is when we can't see those utilities because we don't know how it was built somewhere else. We don't know, especially if you have undergauge or smaller gauge electrical wiring, that will fry, there's a fire hazard, and everybody's in a rush to get these things built quickly and put together fast. It could be a worst case scenario. So right now, we are the Department of Planning and Permitting is very cautious about it, and we want to make sure we can see all those things, and it looks like there's options for us to inspect and review some of those pieces. So, yeah, and actually, we're kind of looking forward to that, because there are we're in discussions with Department of Hawaiian Homelands, and they're looking at some form of prefab construction, which can just be prefabricating certain pieces, which helps construction move faster. So yeah, we're open to all kinds of potential to help people find housing and home, and especially bring the cost down and making it easier. So let's see. I believe that was the list. Were there any other concerns or comments?
Board, any other concerns for the city, Mr. Omura?
Did you mention about this Āliamanu and the Āliamanu-Salt corner that where, the place where the lady got killed in a crosswalk 2019? And then you said the last meeting that, yeah, they're starting to look at that area and they repainted the crosswalk.
So that's Āliamanu and Āliamanu-Salt?
Āliamanu and Āliamanu-Salt. That's right at that Salt Lake Shopping Center, at the north end of that.
Yes, there was a request to look at Salt Lake Boulevard widening. Oh, it was the request for the widening project. Sorry, but you're talking about traffic. Just
how far how much has the department done as far as checking out that area? You said at the last meeting that they're going to do a little bit more of a concise, more.
Yeah, I think they're still trying to put their study numbers together. Some of that, is that specifically along Salt Lake Boulevard? At that right at that intersection? Or it's just along those streets, Āliamanu and Āliamanu-Salt? Yeah, I believe they're still trying to perform the traffic studies.
Yeah, Brian. They already did the traffic study. That's why we're sending mixed messages here, and I brought up the last meeting as far as we're submitting resolutions, and obviously it's not, nobody's reading it, or they're just putting on the side, because we submitted like 3 resolutions concerning that particular intersection. Went to the media, did a blitz with the media as far as the major channels and Civil Beat, and a few months ago, Civil Beat, I guess, pressed the city, and City Council's Cordero's office made an announcement that they'll be putting in a left turn signal. So we need to know, as the community needs to know, if that left turn signal is going to be installed and about when it's going to be installed.
Okay. So yeah, we'll follow up with the Department of Transportation
So
Services.
evidently the studies were done, and They agreed, the City Department of Transportation agreed that they will put in a left turn signal, but we just don't know when. And hopefully we don't get any more people get injured at that particular crosswalk. And on the news, I labeled it as the most dangerous crosswalk in Hawaii. So because of the fatalities and the accidents during that year. So if you can follow up on that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, understood. Yeah, that sounds good. You know, I believe there was one more. You guys requested an update on the rail on segment 2, and they're going to come on for the November meeting. And I believe DTS is going to be there, and so DTS can also speak on. I'll try and get you an update on exactly what you're talking about at the next meeting, and then we can follow up again on the November meeting.
Yeah, DTS made contact with me, and we scheduled them for the presentation in our November meeting.
Yeah.
Audience, any questions for the mayor's office? Do I see Mr. O'Moore's hand going up? Go ahead, Mr. O'Moore. Go ahead. My turn?
Hi. Okay, wait. Nancy Valdez. So I've been seeing for months where, by the high school, they already took away the they took away the crosswalk. They're supposed to go by the traffic light. They haven't been. I've seen near misses over there so many times. And of course, Āliamanu-Salt, I actually had to hold my horn down because they were going to hit this couple. So that definitely needs a left traffic light. And then I don't know what you guys want to do with the school, right by the high school. They took, like I said, they took away the crosswalk, but kids are still, and the parents are parking after school, they're parking on the street. So they're blocking one lane. So you have the 3 lanes, they're blocking one
Yeah,
side.
Brian, that's at Āliamanu Street and Āliamanu Street, right in front of the high school parking lot and the fire station. They initially had a crosswalk there. They removed the crosswalk, but the kids are still crossing there. And the parents picking up their kids, they're blocking the right lane.
Okay. So part of the construction for the widening project, they took out a crosswalk, and then now, so you're saying it's an issue near Āliamanu and Āliamanu.
Yeah, I'm sure the police can work with the school and see if you can pass it on to them and about the kids still using that crosswalk.
Okay.
I mean, the crosswalk is not there, so that they're supposed to go further down by the roundabout, but they're not doing that. So if you can follow up.
I see. Okay.
If the police can follow up with the school at least, and that they can take action with the cars that blocking the right lane when school gets over.
Okay, understood.
That's what she brought up.
Thank you. That's a good. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. We definitely got to watch out for that.
And one last thing on my side, Salt Lake apartment areas, parking is such a problem. I feel sorry for a lot of these people that live in the high rises. They got nowhere to park. A lot of them don't even have parking stalls in the building that they live at. But we got to do something. 3 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, I made a resolution about these people that they start their business and they use all the parking spaces for their buy and sell business and their car, what do they call it, rental, Toro, whatever it is. There's all kinds of businesses going on in Salt Lake and taking away the parking for the people that actually live there. And these people are not paying $1 to Uncle Sam, to the taxes. They're just buying, selling cash. I know it for a fact because I saw it for myself. And I was refereeing the 2 people. One was grumbling about he wanted his money back because his car broke down one day after he bought it. So he wanted his $4,000 back. So they're going back and forth. So that got settled. That's how I found out that they put it in the military newspaper at Pearl and Hickam. And they sell these cars cash. They have homes in Salt Lake. They conduct their business at the shopping center or at the parks, So we need to get a hold of that. I mean, start doing something again. I'll do another resolution, but I hate doing resolutions if nobody's going to do anything about it. If I do the resolution and the city wants enough evidence, I can go with them and show them exactly what's happening and what house. And I gave them the address, the last resolution, so.
Yeah, understood. Anything the public can do to, if you're willing to take pictures, and of course be safe, but that'll come into the Department of Planning and Permitting. You can email that to dpp@honolulu.gov, and then we'll work with HPD, because you can't have those kind of commercial activities in those areas as well.
I'm about ready to get about 15 to 20 people and use my bullhorn and go in front of this residence and tell them move all the illegal cars on the road, because it's just, they're just taking advantage. And I can see if it wasn't in the parking area like we have by the old Costco where Target is. Companies in there, they're taking up the parking over there, but at least that's nighttime, there's a lot of parking. But Salt Lake, I see people, they park like 10, 15 minutes away, and they got to walk at night to their apartment. And it's just so sad that, that they have to do that. And when these guys are taking full advantage, they don't want to pay for an overflow parking lot for their cars. They rather just park it on the streets and take over all the parking. But yeah, I'll do another resolution, probably not next month's meeting, but in November.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Mr. O'Moore.
My second question was about the homeless thing. People I know, two actually, different groups got kicked out of their apartment. And okay, in reality, they kind of deserve that, but they're on the streets right now. Is there a phone number that I can get so that I can call the housing, or who do I call for that and that type of thing?
Yeah, that's the city's Department of Community Services. They have a website, and they have all kinds of outreach and things all over their website that they can help with those situations, helping them get off the streets, get into transitional housing and programs, so hopefully get them jobs and back into being a productive member of society.
What is the website?
It's the City and County of Honolulu's Department of Community Services. Department of Community Services, yeah.
Joe, the easiest way is they have referral cards, the police department, they give those cards out to the homeless. Has all the phone numbers and where to contact, so if you can swing by the police station or have them call the police, all the officers should have it in their vehicle to pass out these cards to the homeless. Audience, any questions? Thank you, Brian. City Council Member Cordero. I haven't seen your boss for a while. Is she on vacation?
She
Oh, yeah,
is
that's right.
just
She went to
unavailable
Japan.
at the moment. Yeah. Hi, board, and congratulations on your re-election for your positions, and aloha community members. My name is Sherry, and I'm here on behalf of Councilmember Cordero to share her monthly report, which I have provided, and provided spares in the back table for community members. So first off, on the first few pages are community concerns updates for this area. There are a total of 10 updates with detailed responses from various departments. Listing them briefly, request for portable toilets at Ke'ehi Lagoon Park, requested vegetation clearing near Likini Street is expected to be completed in early December, and a handful of park-related updates for Āliamanu-Salt Community Park, Howard Shima Likini Mini Park, Makalapa Neighborhood Park, and Salt Lake District Park. So I encourage you folks to take a look at that. Second, council member would like to share that the Honolulu Charter Commission is accepting proposals until November 7. More information on that in page 3. Next, council member participated in a handful of community events. So if you'd like to see what she's been up to, you can review pages 4 and 5. And the report is followed by legislative updates on some bills and resolutions moving through the council at the moment, so feel free to take a look at that as well. There is information on bills 34, 49, and 50 relating to real property taxation. And council member wants to mahalo everyone who attended her community meetings last month on bus route updates. If you weren't able to attend, the information presented from those meetings is available online using the link listed in her report. And Councilmember wants to mahalo also Board Member Chandra for hosting her own community meeting on the same topic for the Country Club Village and helping keep community members informed. And speaking of transportation, Bill 54, which is listed in here, relates to public transit, proposing fare increase and pass second reading as amended from the last council meeting on September 3 this month, and was referred to the Budget Committee. So for further discussion, if you'd like to share your mana'o on Bill 54's rate increase, testimony is welcome in the next Budget Committee meeting to be held on September 23rd. And last thing I'd like to share tonight is the IAEA Pearl City area legislators, including council member, is jointly hosting a town hall on protecting kupuna from targeted scams. So please share this event with your kupuna and people in your ohana. The meeting will be held on September 25th at 6:30 p.m. in Pearl Ridge Elementary School, and the flyer is here on the back at the bottom. And this wraps up my report, and I'm happy to take back any questions and comments to the council member.
Board, any questions? Mr. Omura.
Yeah, just wanted to let you know in case, I think you heard this, you guys will be back here again in November to show the bus thing, the real stuff. You know the one that I was there in Kalihi?
Oh, yes,
So
I
they're
do
going to be
remember.
back here in this meeting to do a presentation as well.
Okay.
Just so you guys, so that way Radiant knows, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for the heads up.
Audience, any questions for the council member? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Governor Green's office, Senator Wakai's office.
Hi, aloha Chair Yomes and members of the Salt Lake Neighborhood Board. Good to see you again. Again, congratulations everyone on your elected positions. I'm Ashley from Senator Wakai's office. He says, how's it from Sakaimachi? So I'm sure you've heard by now about the groundbreaking partnership that Senator facilitated with Amazon and Maui Gold Pineapples. And that's really just the beginning. We're getting a lot of outreach from Hawaii Farmer Bureaus, lots of farmers who want to get their products out there. So Senator has always been a strong proponent for economic growth and development in the state. And this really opens up a way for us to diversify our economy and help us diversify again away from tourism, which we're so heavily reliant on. We can help support and uplift local businesses because pineapples is just the beginning. If we can fill these airplanes with locally made goods like ukulele, aloha attire, baked goods, you name it, it'll really help support and boost our local economy, support the small businesses, which really are the backbone of our country. Also, congratulations to Principal Abe on his retirement. And we really also wanted to commend Miss, I think her name is Sumajit. They did a food bank ration distribution in the wake of Hurricane Kiko. And obviously, the hurricane died down, bypassed us, but within 24 hours of receiving communication from the food bank to be a site for ration distribution, these guys went, got 50 volunteers and hustled over 380 boxes to the Salt Lake community. And we just really want to highlight that she did such a great job in less than 24 hours of receiving that notice. So, and then this Saturday, Salt Lake Elementary School is hosting a 3 R's recycling drive. They're accepting scrap metals, electronics, household goods. You can contact our office or Salt Lake Elementary School for like specifics on what you can bring. And also, we will be at the same town hall meeting as Councilmember Cordero on September 25th at 6:30 at Pearl Ridge Elementary School. And I'm open and available for any comments and concerns that I can take back to the senator.
Board, any questions for Senator Wakai's office? Audience, any questions for Senator Wakai? Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Linda Ichiyama.
Thank you, Chair Yomes, board members. You have a copy of my report. Just wanted to share with you on the reverse some of the community updates in response to concerns we received. Wanted to mahalo the State Department of Transportation for repaving Pu'uloa Road next to Nimitz. That area was pretty beat up, and so if you're driving that area, it looks a lot better. They also helped us to clear some overgrowth near Moana Middle School, and so that will improve visibility and safety for the students. And then finally, I want to mahalo the Navy as well as our other community partners in HPD for help clearing a homeless encampment that was at the intersection of Pu'uloa Road and Salt Lake Boulevard. I'm happy to take any questions.
Board, any questions for the representative? Audience, any questions for Representative Ichiyama? Go ahead.
Homeless encampment, was it near the big old water tanks? Is that the one?
Not quite. If you look at the picture on the back, it's on the bottom. So it was more on top of the hillside by the fence. So right at that corner, it was attached to the fence.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you, Representative Ichiyama.
Thank you, Chair.
Representative Garner Shimizu.
Thank you, Chair Yomes, board members, members of the community. I'm Representative Garner Shimizu, District 32. I just wanted to highlight some information regarding emergency preparedness. Recently, we've been having wildfires, tsunami watch. I looked at the sirens for the Salt Lake area. There's one siren for at Salt Lake District Park, and there's also 3 in AMR. So I guess the question to the community would be, are you able to hear the sirens adequately? Because that's the provision at this point. I wanted to also report that as a member of the Public Safety Committee, we did have an informational briefing from HIEMA and Department of Transportation. They did share some information that they learned. During the tsunami alert, as you all know, there was a traffic jam. One of the things that they realized is they need to partner better with HPD to get officers at strategic intersections to help manage and control traffic flow beyond lights. They also need to instruct and educate the public on what are safe zones where a person does not have to evacuate and add to the traffic. Example of that would be if you're in a high-rise building, if you are on the 4th floor or above, you don't have to evacuate, versus some place that is in an inundation zone where you do need to evacuate. So I just wanted to pass that along. I was able to attend that Salt Lake Waterway meeting that Secretary Kanemaru mentioned, and I'm excited for the community to resolve that longstanding issue. And I just want to congratulate Chair Yomes and Secretary Kanemaru, members of the community, for being very vigilant for their community and being persistent in getting results, even when they were not getting responses that were helpful. But congratulations for that. I also wanted to report that in conjunction with Department of Transportation, in order to help traffic flow eastbound on the freeway, the shoulder lane has been extended, and that is between the Mauna Loa Valley, Red Hill, Salt Lake stop sign intersection. Between that point and the exit for Tripler and Mapunapuna, the shoulder lane has been extended, and that's in an effort to help alleviate traffic flow. There are parking concerns that came to my office regarding commercial vehicles that are parked on the street. As Deputy Director Gallagher explained, we need to report that to the Department of Permit and Planning, and that goes back to unauthorized home business use. So we will be looking into those places where complaints have been filed with our office. I want to thank those who attended our listening tour. Our Minority Caucus had a listening tour. It was held at Āliamanu Elementary. So thank you for those who came and expressed their concerns. Lastly, I want to piggyback on what Councilmember Cordero's office shared, that I will be participating in that town hall. That is Thursday, September 25th at Pearl Ridge Elementary, and myself, Representatives Takayama, Kong, and Chun, as well as Senators Aquino, Elefante, and Wakai, and Council Members Cordero and Okimoto will be in attendance. Other than that, I'm open to questions.
Board, any questions for the representative? Sir?
Thank you, Chair. Going back to the tsunami alerts about who needs to evacuate or not, does the state have the ability to mass text everyone those specific rules? Like if you're on the 4th floor, you do not need to evacuate, or you're not, or you are in an area?
I think they're still fine-tuning the communication on that. And one of the points that I did bring up exactly to answer your question is that the public needs regular and good communication and education, because it cannot be a one-time thing, and we all know that we're busy, we forget, and when the time comes, it's like, oh, what are we supposed to do? So it has to be an ongoing educational effort for the public's benefit, so that we're all on the same page, we understand, we know what to do, and we're all coordinated. I know state, city, federal, they're all really on top of this subject and working well together from what I see, yeah. But it does start with personal responsibility. Each person, each household needs to have their own kuleana, whether it's a go bag where it has all your things. If you do have to evacuate, make sure you got all your toilet paper, water, whatever, gas, and you're not, flooding Costco last minute. Clearing your yard of any projectiles, fire hazards, so forth. Yeah, so there are things that we should be doing as individual homeowners and just family members. Yeah.
Okay. Audience, any questions for the representative? Thank you. Going on to the Hawaii Bicycling League. Hurry up, we're running out of time. Go ahead.
Question for Garner. Hey, Garner, we're talking about, the tsunami thing. And I remember when we had the tsunami, I should have been brought up last month kind of thing, but bringing it up now. I was at my office that night of the wave, and I had to bust it. So about 9:30 or so, even though it's still in the danger zone time, I walked down the hill in Pearl City, and I went down to the beach area to catch my bus. I noticed there's a lot of homeless guys over there, and they were there, they were never moved and stuff. So I was wondering, what about them? What kind of plan is there for them, if any?
That's a very good question, and that doesn't just limit to the homeless population. There are people that, as you probably saw in the news, they're at the beach looking to see the best wave or, see the water recede or things like that. So there are people that, it's a free country where we cannot force people to leave. I know I have had conversation with civil defense. They do alert people, they do warn people, they do tell them to leave, but they cannot forcibly tell people to leave, yeah, so that is still a personal choice.
So with the homeless guys, then it's like a bullhorn to the beachside telling, hey, everybody, a tsunami coming, you guys got to leave. Is that how they do stuff?
I'm not exactly sure how they do it, but I have been told that they do notify people, and I can find out for you, Chair, member. Yeah. That's good to be concerned about them. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Hawaii Bicycling League.
Good evening, Chair and Board. Congratulations on your new elections. Hello, everybody. I'm Paula Bender from Hawaii Bicycling League. I'm the Walk, Bike, Drive coordinator. And a long, long time ago, back in May, there was a huge concern about sharing the roads between bicyclists, pedestrians, and vehicles. And so now we have some other elements into the fray, and we'll tell you ahead of time that yes, e-bikes and e-scooters are part of our HBL's education outreach. However, there's also work being done by HPD regarding this. The whole point of this state-funded presentation is that we're to build a culture of courtesy and friendliness on the road, and that's what my presentation is about.
The Walk, Bike, Drive program is funded by an HDOT grant to highlight the importance of pedestrian and bicycle safety on Hawaii's roads. Whether we walk, bike, or drive, safety is everyone's responsibility. The Vulnerable Road Users Law is part of a broader effort to enhance safety on Hawaii's roadways by addressing the risks faced by those traveling outside of motorized vehicles, such as pedestrians and cyclists. So far, in 2025, the entire state has more than doubled its traffic fatalities over 2024. The average number of traffic deaths from 2014 through 2024 included 28 pedestrians, nearly 28 motorcycles and mopeds, 4 bicycles, and nearly 44 motor vehicles. Whether on foot, on a bike, or in a vehicle, commuters are a traveling ohana. We recognize license plates, stickers, and company logos. We merge with a wave, or better yet, a shaka. And when there is a crash, we learn just how close we are to each other. Here are a few things to keep in mind when sharing the road with cyclists. Respect the green bike boxes. That gives bicyclists a head start on a narrow section to reach the bike lane. Remember, when in a crash, the cyclist will always be more vulnerable no matter who is right legally. When passing, allow for 3 feet between your vehicle and a cyclist, even if it means waiting a few seconds to do it safely. Share when you see sharrows, which are placed where cyclists cannot safely drive on the shoulder of the road. What are cyclists telling you? Understand the road signals used by cyclists. Left arm pointed down or right arm behind back means the cyclist is stopping. Left arm outstretched means the cyclist needs to switch to the left lane or to make a left turn. Left arm pointed up or right arm outstretched indicates the cyclist is making a right turn. At a recent NOAA Hurricane Awareness meeting, HBL Executive Director Travis Council provided another reason bicycles make sense. During and following an emergency weather event, a human-powered bicycle is most reliable, especially if power outages persist, the internet is down, and roads are blocked to motor vehicles. Everyone has the right to be safe on Hawaii's roads. This precept in Hawaiian law originated with King Kamehameha I in 1797. The law was added to the state constitution in 1978. Please, kokua, make the right decisions. Driving with aloha means everyone has a great day. Please send your comments or questions to Walk, Bike, Drive Coordinator Paula Bender at paula@hbl.org. Mahalo.
Thank you. So what I'd like you to keep in mind and take away from this message is that vulnerable users, everybody outside of a vehicle, includes motorcyclists, mopeds, scooters, e-bikes, and all the crazy people who are doing tricks on the road. So if something happens, well, let me take that back. If you're driving in an area or on the road, when something like this happens, just cool your jets, back off a little bit, because you won't be the vulnerable person if this person doing a wheelie falls right in front of you and you hit them. So I encourage everybody to buy their kids bikes and not motorized bikes. I teach fourth graders how to ride a bike, and when they come to ride for the bike ed, they are thrilled beyond measure. You don't have to put a motor under them. Just let them ride their bikes. And I'm still riding my bike, and I'm a big kid, so mahalo. Mahalo. Yes, ma'am.
Secretary Connie Morrow.
Thank you for being here. Great presentation. I do appreciate what you're doing. You know, I do, as a driver, I know that there are, these bike riders. However, at times I see many of these bike riders, they should be getting off of their bike when they're crossing a crosswalk. Is that not still?
Well, if they're in a bike lane, no. If it's a person who takes their bike to run errands or something like that, yes, if they're going to stay on the sidewalk. So
Yeah.
people who stay on the sidewalk will walk their bike across the intersection.
Okay, so it's a matter of courtesy and knowledge. So I think, that maybe in the training of, bike riders, it should be just reiterated then, about that crosswalk courtesy. Because some of them
Yes.
come just assuming that they have the right of way always.
Yeah.
But if we're doing a right turn, kind of thing, actually, it's like I have to really be aware of, someone who won't stop and then assume that they have the right of way. So anyway, just a comment. Thank you.
Situational awareness is a wonderful thing, and I wish other cyclists would have it. Thank you very much. Oh, you have one too, Patty? Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I want to thank you for the presentation. You brought back memories for me when I was on Kwajalein Missile Isle in Micronesia. We didn't have cars. We had bicycles. And it's really handy for everyone, But then I had to learn about making hand signs, the signals, And I fell once in the beginning because I couldn't hold my bike, But I really believe in riding a bicycle, but don't you find it difficult in Hawaii, in Oahu, to ride a bicycle?
I've had 3 near fatal falls. My helmet has saved my life each time. I've had 10 cracked ribs, 2 broke clavicles, but it's my favorite thing to do. So I just pout until my bones are healed, and then I get to go out again.
Don't give up. I love riding the bike. Thank
I ride
you.
on the East Oahu, so it's pretty easy. Thank you.
Thank you. Next presentation, the Environmental Science International regarding drainage canals near the airport.
Good evening, Board. Good evening, community members. Thank you for your time this evening. My name is Todd Deary. I'm with Environmental Science International. These are my design team for the project that we will be discussing tonight with ESI. We have a number of sub-consultants that are part of this project as well. It is a Hawaii Department of Transportation Airports project, and we will be applying for a special management area permit for the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. This project proposes to provide revetment repairs and improvements on portions of canal banks to include partial dredging. And this is along the Kalaloa Canal, which is parallel to the Kehi Lagoon Park. We'll see some exhibits in a little bit, give you a better idea of exactly where this is. The lower reach of the Kalaloa Canal, which is the east branch, is the particular area of interest that is within the special management area. As part of this project, we'll be doing some secondary improvements also, primarily along the city and county parks and recreation property that would involve replacement of the chain link fences, and there's an access road there that is along the top of the embankment as well that we'll be providing repairs to. Purpose of the proposed action is to stabilize the canal banks and revetments, to improve protection of the nearshore state marine waters and aquatic life, improve public health and safety, decrease the potential for property damage from flooding, and repair or improve the deteriorating canal structure. You'll see some pretty dramatic photos of the deteriorating canal structure. As part of the process, we'll be doing some dredging to remove accumulated soil, silt, and sediments, and to restore the holding capacities of those canals to decrease the risk of flooding in the surrounding areas during high-intensity storm events. The total length of the project that is within the special management area is about 1,400 linear feet along the Kalaloa Canal and the Kehi Lagoon Beach Park. The canal is approximately 10 feet in height. The figure that you see in front of you now is a small scale figure representing the Salt Lake area and the airport. The hatched area that you see with the horizontal striping is what is known as the special management area. This is the area that requires additional permitting in order to comply with federal, state, county, and city requirements. The specific area is highlighted in the red circle, indicating the special management project area, and that is the section of the Kalaloa Canal that we just discussed. This is a large-scale view of that area. Again, the region in the right-hand corner being the Kalaloa Canal, The ballpark that you can see there and the tennis courts are part of the Kehi Lagoon Beach Park. So we will be working on the left bank, which is facing the Kehi Lagoon outlet, so along where the cursor is sliding. The right bank is very stabilized. This project will not be addressing that. The two other regions that you see highlighted in the upper left-hand corner are also part of this project. However, they are not within the special management area. So we're just going to be focusing on that area for this presentation and for our permit application. As part of this project, we have a number of permits and consultations that we'll have to do. Under the federal requirements, we will be submitting to the United States Army Corps of Engineers Rivers and Highway Act Section 10 permits. That will include a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Endangered Species Act Section 7 consultation, and that also triggers DLNR State Historic Preservation Division National Historic Preservation Review, Section 106. That same review is required under the state. Basically, the Corps will just revert back to the state for their guidance. The other state permits that we are required to submit are with the DLNR's Commission on Water, give me that one, Coral. Commission on Water Resources Management. We have Disability Communication Access Board requirement and a Clean Water Branch requirement that involves both NPDES permits for the NOIC and NOIG, construction and dewatering, and then we will be applying for clean water quality certification as well. And the reason for today's meeting, or our presentation today, is the county's requirement, the city and county's rules of Hawaii, Chapter 25 SMA permit. We're required to notify the affected neighborhood board and adjoining property owners. By this presentation, we are complying with that aspect. As I mentioned, we have a couple photographs that show the extent of the deteriorating conditions. This is the Kalaloa Canal East Branch left bank current conditions within the special management project area. The photo on the top left shows the severely deteriorated conditions there. That is looking from the right bank across, so from the airport's property across to Kehi Lagoon. The middle picture is an opposite bank view. You're looking at the airport property there with the pretty nice condition bank walls, and you're looking towards Kehi Lagoon. There's the chain link fence that we talked about earlier at the top of bank. That will most likely be within the construction area when we rebuild this revetment. And then the lower picture was more of the same, basically. Very steep wall condition there, chain link fence at the top of the wall. So all of these walls will be reshaped. These are a couple of the alternatives that we're currently considering to reinforce the canal walls. Highly technical stuff, you're probably not that interested in it, but we will be doing hydraulic studies, hydrologic studies. We're in the process right now of conducting geological or geotechnical studies to determine the strength of the structure that we'll need. And that's about all you need to know, I think, unless you want to know more. As part of the construction, we will also be installing turbidity barriers. These will keep the sediment inside the construction area. On the left, you see a plan view that depicts what will be a floating boom system that is depicted on the right. That's a section view as though you're looking through the water. At the top, there will be a float, and then there will be a curtain that is submerged and goes to the bottom of the canal so that all the sediment that will be disturbing during the dredging stays within the construction area, mitigating silt from being transported downstream into the Kehi Lagoon. Right now we are in the investigation phase. We're still doing the geotechnical sampling. We're doing the studies for hydrology and hydraulics. And we are also doing the soil report. So we'll have an understanding of what kind of structures we need to do, what kind of scouring will go on in the channel, make sure the channels have the capacity that are necessary for the stormwater events. So we expect that we'll be done with this designing phase and the permitting phase at the end of 2026. And we would start construction 2027. The duration of that construction is contingent on the type of design that we ultimately settle on. But I would imagine 2 years. Should be minimal public impact. We are working with the Parks and Rec Department right now, try to partner with them in order to understand how our encroachment might affect the park there, and also how it might affect park users. If there's any questions.
Board, any questions? Secretary Kanemaru?
So I just wanted to back up. The Environmental Science International, you're a private consulting firm.
Correct.
That's been contracted to do this, okay?
Correct.
Yeah, so that part I just wanted to just make sure that it's public knowledge. So the scope of work that you're talking about, will it interfere in any way with the actual stormwater drains that are coming out from, Mapunapuna, Salt Lake, because the Salt Lake waterway, it's part of the infrastructure of the cities. And so I know that all of that waterway, it does, well, excuse the language, but dump into, the Kehi Lagoon eventually. So will that be of
It will
interference?
improve those conditions.
It'll improve those conditions
Yes, it
to
will.
Kehi Lagoon?
Correct.
Right, okay,
Correct.
all right. Okay, so I know I was trying to look at that and I'm like trying to figure out, what the area is. But
If you zoom out, go to the other one, sort of, yeah. The watershed area, as you say, it extends way up.
up there, right? So, and it comes down. Okay.
It also has large watershed.
Okay.
Also incorporated the water in the base. So as part of the hydraulic and hydrologic study, we're taking into consideration the greater watershed.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Audience, go ahead. You come up to the microphone, please.
Good evening, Board. My name is Dean Keko'olani. I'm the Executive Director for Ke'ehi Lagoon Memorial State Park, and I'm here with questions from DLNR, Department of State Parks. As was noted, the city and county has the Ke'ehi Lagoon Beach Park, and as many of you know, there's also another park next to it. Most local people know it as DAV. I am the gentleman who runs that joint. And so I was approached by DLNR. They asked me to come on behalf of Department of State Parks with questions, and I have a few. Okay. The first one would be, I heard that the project duration at this point seems to be 2 years. Is that correct?
2 years in design to get to a point for construction bidding. And then the construction has to be 2 years.
Okay, great. So our concern is mostly with the actual construction. So that'll be 2 years, approximately 2 years in duration, 2 years from now.
Gentlemen, you got to share a microphone so we can pick it up on TV.
Design complete by 2026, construction to begin in 2027, I would say completed by 2029.
Great, thank you. I'll take that back to the state. Okay, then my next question was, and these are just the obvious questions. There's nothing crazy here. What about impact on traffic? I know this would have come up in discussions with the city and county park, the beach park. Just in general, do you expect it to be a large project like the STG Hart project in terms of like machinery and the number of personnel? Can you give the board and myself a sense of the scale of the project, like how many men will be working there, that sort of thing?
Sure. So if we can go back to the so we have two staging areas that we are pretty rather currently contemplating. One that is here already. Sorry. We have test. Okay. three areas where we will be working. The Aulele ditch is along Aulele Street. And in that work area, we intend to occupy part of the airport's maintenance structure here, so traffic impact would be minimal. We do have hardening that will be along the Aulele Road. We've already submitted a traffic control plan for that for initial boring and testing in that area. Minimal impact to the traffic there. This other area is within the airport operations area. Again, a small staging area there entirely within the AOA. No impact whatsoever to public use. And the other area that is within the SMA, our staging area is proposed here. And this is currently the staging area that is used by Kiewit for the city's rail project. So it shouldn't be any more than the city's rail project. I would imagine it be much less, in fact.
It looks to me, looking at the diagrams, that our property is probably going to have almost zero impact. The Ke'ehi Lagoon Memorial State Park, we're way on the other side. Is it correct to assume that we will be almost not impacted at all?
Yes.
Okay, great. I would happily tell that to the state.
The only area where you may have a slight impact is at the entrance road here, but it would be minimal in comparison to the HART project.
Yes.
And I would think that the staging here would be much smaller as well. Traffic would be reduced compared to the existing condition.
Great. And one final question, and this is to what Madam Secretary brought up, about the water dumping, the general hydraulic problem come from Mapunapuna. Mapunapuna, as your science studies probably showed, has a subsidence problem. New research coming out from University of Hawaii this year in July showed that it's sinking. Now, this is far from where you're at, but it's complicating the overall problem with water moving in from the stream into Mapunapuna, circling back, coming around. I heard you say, and I'm glad to hear it, that the canal, it's not a solution for that problem, but it certainly will help relieve some of that hydraulic stress, right, that's coming to the general area, correct?
The intent is to restore the canal to its original design conditions. Right now, it's been backfilled with sediment that has accumulated since the 40s when the structures were initially built. So we will be reforming the canal profile to match the original design capacity or more. We'll look more deeply into that once we get these reports, but that is the intent, is to improve those conditions to original.
Has there been because nobody wants to take responsibility for the flooding. We all know that. So it keeps getting passed around. So people like you who are here to do something get asked about it. There is no overall hydrology plan for the entire area, nothing. There is no governmental studies been done, there's no geology, there's no topology, there's no surveying. The water randomly goes where the water will go. And I was just wondering, in developing this project, was your team able to just accidentally find data about the way that the overall water patterns, or is it kind of outside the scope of your project? This whole area is a water hydrology mess.
Toro, you want to answer that?
I mean, I'm just asking if you found anything that would help us as people who live here understand.
So for this project, our scope of work is strictly kind of just related to the airport.
I understand that.
Yeah, so we hired another consultant, River Focus, that is assisting us making assumptions and providing us data and providing their insights to kind of fill in the gap. But our main intent is basically.
I just was hoping that you might have accidentally come up with something that might help us understand our situation, but you didn't. And so
Okay,
I
gentlemen, you guys
thank
gonna
you for
have
what
to
you have
wrap it
done.
up. I like this conversation. I kind of got interested in this, so we might bring this thing back and ask you a few more questions because this gentleman brought up Mapuna Puna. Interesting, we had a lot of complaints there in Mapuna Puna. It's connected to the Salt Lake waterway problem, so we might have to bring you back at a future board meeting. Thank you for coming out. Okay, board, we're going to get into the next approval of the minutes. We backlog on a few minutes for the May 8th, July 10th, and August 14 minutes. Have you guys looked over any of those minutes? Do you guys have any changes to the minutes? Hearing none, these minutes are approved as submitted. Okay, the next meeting will be on October 9th at the same venue, 6:30 p.m. The board doesn't have anything else. I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Meeting adjourned. Thanks all of you for coming.